Every photo you've ever taken knows exactly where you were, what time it was, and what device you used, even if you never typed a single word. That hidden layer of information, that's metadata, and it's everywhere. Today, we're unpacking one of the most underrated concepts in the world of data, metadata. You've probably heard the word thrown around, but what does it actually mean? What are its different types? And how is it different from regular data? By the end of this video, you'll have a rock-solid understanding of metadata. And honestly, you might never look at your phone photos the same way again. Let's get into it. Section 1. What is metadata? The simple definition. The word meta comes from Greek, meaning about or beyond. So metadata, quite simply, is data about data. It doesn't carry the main content itself. Instead, it describes, organizes, and gives context to that content. Everyday analogy, the library book. Think about a book in a library. The content of the book, the story, the chapters, the words, that's your data. But on the back cover or in the library catalog, you'll find the title, author name, publication date, genre, page count, and ISBN number. None of that is the actual story, but all of it helps you find, understand, and manage the book. That catalog information is metadata. It exists purely to describe and support the main content. Section 2. Types of metadata. There are 5 main types of metadata. Let's walk through each one with a real example. Type 1. Descriptive metadata. This is the most common type. It describes what something is so that people can find and identify it. Examples. A YouTube video's title, description, tags, and thumbnail. A book's title, author, and subject keywords. A song's track name, artist, and album. If you've ever searched for a video on YouTube and found exactly what you were looking for, descriptive metadata made that happen. It's the information that makes content searchable and discoverable. Type 2. Structural metadata. This type describes how pieces of content are organized and connected to each other. Example. Think of a digital textbook. Structural metadata tells the system, Chapter 3 contains pages 45 to 78. Page 50 has an image. That image links to a caption on page 51. It's basically the table of contents and the blueprint of how a document or file is built, helping software understand relationships between different parts. Type 3. Administrative metadata. This type helps organizations manage and maintain their data over time. It answers questions like, who created this? When? Who has permission to access it? Examples. A file's creation date, modification date, and file format. Document ownership and access permissions. Software license information. Think of it as the behind-the-scenes management layer. It keeps data organized, secure, and legally protected. Type 4. Technical metadata. This goes a level deeper. It describes the technical characteristics of a file or system. Examples. A photo's resolution, e.g. 12 megapixels, file size, color profile, and camera settings. An audio file's bitrate, sample rate, and encoding format. A video's frame rate, codec, and duration. Technical metadata is critical for engineers, developers, and designers who need to know how a file behaves, not just what it contains. Type 5. Use metadata, statistical metadata. This type tracks how data is being used, who accessed it, when, and how often. Examples. A website tracking which pages users visit most and for how long. A database logging who queried what data and at what time. A streaming platform recording how many times a song was played. Netflix uses this type of metadata constantly. Every time you watch, pause, rewind, or abandon a show, that behavioral data helps them recommend your next binge. Section 3. Data versus metadata. What's the difference? Now let's tackle the comparison everyone gets confused about. Data is actual content, whereas metadata is information about content. For example, photo itself is data, and date taken, GPS location, camera model is metadata. The purpose of data is to convey information or messages, whereas metadata describes, organizes, and manages that data. The data is visible to user, whereas metadata is often hidden in the background. The size of data can be very large, whereas size of metadata is small. Real-world example, your phone photo. When you take a photo, the data is the actual image, the colors, pixels, and visual content you see on your screen. But quietly embedded in that same file is metadata, the exact timestamp, GPS coordinates of where you stood, the phone model you used, the camera aperture, the file size, and even which direction you were facing. You never typed any of that. The system captured it automatically. The photo is the data. Everything else is the metadata. Another example, an email. When you send an email, the data is your message, the words you wrote. The metadata includes sender's address, recipient's address, date and time sent, subject line, and the mail server it passed through. Interestingly, in surveillance and legal cases, metadata from emails is often more revealing than the message itself. Investigators can track patterns, locations, and relationships purely from metadata without ever reading the actual email content. And the big difference between data and metadata? Data is the what. Metadata is the everything around the what. Next time you upload a file, send an email, or snap a photo, remember, there's a whole invisible world of metadata quietly attached to it. If this video helped you finally understand metadata, hit that like button, subscribe for more simplified tech and data content.